Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Awesemo.com line and building show, sponsored by Jock Market. Going to build 3 lineups for FanDuel this weekend. It should be a pretty fun one. Of course, holiday weekend, so we got a lot of football here. And let's give these a shot. So I always build 3 lineups. My first one's going to be the chalk stack. That's going to be Mahomes. The only problem, actually, maybe I'll pivot here because we haven't gotten official word on Tyreek and Kelsey. Like, both of them are on the COVID list right now. So I'm going to really like a Mahomes stack, but I don't know who to put in that right now. So let's go to Matthew Stafford instead. There's a lot more clarity here. Kupp, Jefferson, Beckham, Higbee. Those are the key building blocks. Higbee is probably going to be like less popular, but he's coming off that COVID list designation, so maybe a little limited. Van Jefferson, Beckham. Beckham also had COVID, so Jefferson might be your safest bet. Let's pencil in Higbee. And then I feel like we got to go with Madison. He's just like way too cheap on FanDuel, and he's got almost a 42% chance of being an optimal. If he can get some touchdowns, that'll keep the Rams passing. All right. And then on FanDuel, one guy I'm liking is Cordarrelle Patterson versus the Lions. I mean, that's the spot where Atlanta is going to look really good. At receiver, I think that we might need to get some contrarian plays here. So Jamison Crowder is someone that I'm liking this week. I think that the ownership is too low there. And then DJ Moore is someone that I'm really liking. It's going to be a mix of Darnold and Newton this week, reportedly. So regardless, Moore should benefit, and no one runs versus Tampa, so there's going to be a lot of passing compared to a normal Carolina game. All right, at defense, we can go pretty spend up on defense right here. So let's go with the Eagles facing either Fromm or Glennon. That'll be solid regardless. And then with the final play, I can go with Jamar Chase. You got a really nice value ranking. That means that's 90%, higher than 90% of lineups in projection, between 30 and 40th percentile in ownership, which is not bad for a lineup that has really high projection. So this is solid. This is all coming from the Awesemo.com boom bust tool. All right. Value stack, Derek Carr. They don't price down quarterbacks a ton on FanDuel, but Derek Carr is relatively cheap, double the chance of being the top stack and optimal compared to ownership. And the options to pair with him, Renfro is a must. Waller, I don't think he's going to play, but we haven't gotten official word yet. So I'll just suck up Renfro for the moment. We could consider putting in Jacobs. I think Jacobs is going to be a little bit under the radar this week with all the value, and he's been catching more passes since Drake has been injured. Running it back, if I have Jacobs, I'm going to want to probably go with a receiver on Denver. So actually, Noah Fant. You could go with Judy. Fant, not a great value, but he's at tight end, so that kind of makes up for that. All right, running back, James Robinson is pretty low owned on FanDuel. He's like the spend up option on FanDuel facing the Jets. That's a great matchup. And then I think Madison, really solid play. I'm probably going to want him in most lineups without Dalvin Cook. It's not a lock because the matchup versus the Rams is relatively difficult. All right, receiver, Mike Williams is kind of cheap this week. Great matchup versus the Texans. Guys, I'll mention you can get exposure to these guys on Jock Market as well, so it's a totally different way to invest in players. Mike Williams, we have him as netting $6. You buy stock, so if you can get a share of Mike Williams for under $6, you're going to make a profit in the long run. So it's a lot of fun. You can continue investing after the games start and really get an advantage if you react well to the early games. You can get $50 free with the promo code Awesemo on there to go over and try it out. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's go to the Buccaneers facing the Panthers with a mix of Newton and Darnold. Very mistake prone so far this year, so that one could easily work out. And then I already have Mike Williams. I need to spend up a little bit more at receiver. So what I'll do, I'll switch. Let's go with Antonio Brown. He's going to benefit with no Godwin. And then instead of Mike Williams, let's go with Keenan on the same team. That'll just improve our projection. This one ended up being pretty contrarian, more contrarian than 70% of lineups were expecting. Better projection than 60%. So anytime these add up to more than 100%, you got to edge. Lineup 3, the Jets. Zach Wilson. The Jets have been pretty neutral run pass, so I think that in the right game script, this could be a nice spot. Crowder is probably the go-to option. And then Michael Carter also. He's getting some work receiving, so I think that could be a nice combo. I'm going to run it back with Marvin Jones. Laviska Shenault is supposed to be out this week with COVID, so I'll update that soon. Okay, Marvin Jones. I could go with Treadwell as well. Marvin Jones is a little bit lower owned. All right, at running back. Let's go with Madison. He's just way too cheap on FanDuel. That's almost a free square. The only negative is the matchup. All right. And then we have a lot of contrarian plays, so we can go with the chalk at receiver, Cooper Kupp. And then at tight end, Pitts and Gronk are both kind of comparable in chance of being an optimal lineup. I think Pitts is going to be a lot less popular, so he's a standout option in that regard. And then we have the money to spend up. We don't have any exposure to this Buccaneers game. We could go with that. We could go with the Eagles. That's probably the chalk defense because they are facing really weak quarterback play from the Giants. All right. And I have way too much money in this lineup, so I need to flip some guys into more expensive players. So let's see here. Instead of Alexander Madison, we could go with Joe Mixon. I think he's projected a little bit lower, but that will help us dodge some high ownership on Madison. And then we have 8,200 left. We could go with Robinson. That's the super game stack. Let's see how that looks. I accidentally flipped. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there, but I think maybe that's not advantageous to have Carter and Robinson in the same lineup, so maybe I'll go with Keenan. Regardless, these are some good ideas for how you can build this week. If you haven't checked out our sponsor, Jock Market, make sure to check them out. Promo code Awesemo for free $50. And let me know in the comments what you think of this week's lineups and which way you're leaning this week. Guys, happy holidays and good luck.